Now then, people, it's Joe, it's all Leeds TV. And yeah, the gang's back together. I'm absolutely buzzing. It's been ages, and it's class to see these boys' faces. I mean, don't get me wrong, they look very different. I think we all do. But yeah, it's great to have everyone back together. Obviously, Tasha and Jack, I believe they're moving home, so I'm able to jump on. But we'll get them on at a later date, of course. But look, football's back, boys. It's getting exciting. I didn't think this would happen for a little bit of time. And, you know, in terms of content, even from all Leeds TV's perspective, it's been pretty threadbare. But I think, you know, it's exciting times. You know, things have been confirmed. We are back. We're back. Leeds are back. Football's back, man. How do you feel, boys? And it's great to see you, genuinely.
I mean, absolutely buzzing, mate. Absolutely buzzing. I think same as you. I didn't see it coming back, to be honest. I thought we got to around May. Thought no fussy, no sign of it really coming back. I thought it was going to be points per game all the way. You know, when you see Big Phil Hay saying that it looks like points per game, I thought that's kind of it, done kind of thing. But I think obviously they've looked at what's happened in Germany and I thought, you know what, the way it's worked in Germany, you know, there's not been any real problems with spreading COVID from player to player or anything like that. I think the games have been good quality, good intensity. And yeah, I think they've probably looked at that and thought, you know what, let's just finish the season.
Yeah, man. Conor?
Yeah, I think, it's weird talking again on camera, isn't it? It's a bit strange. But yeah, it's been a weird time, hasn't it? I think I was all for the points per game thing, if I'm honest. I was all for it. And then I had this weird flip in my mindset a little bit. I was thinking to myself, you know what? You know, last 9 games, still quite a bit to go, really, if you think about it. You know, quite a bit to go. And I thought to myself, you know what? If we can just get it done. But then I thought, for everything that we've done, everything that we've been through with Bielsa, with Rads, with Conor, with all of them, and even the players and stuff, I thought to myself, you know what? That's not right. It's not right. We need to put the demons to rest. The sort of everything that's happened, like the negative things that have happened, we need to finish it off with a positive. And I think us finishing the season is definitely the right way to go, and something that I'm weirdly actually really looking forward to.
Yeah, man. I think, you know, I sat and thought on it for a little bit myself. You know, we're going to have that moment of being able to run onto Ellen Road pitch. That's going to be taken away from us. You know, but ultimately, let's do it the right way and let's do it on the football pitch. And yeah, it's going to be a weird. I mean, Oscar, you mentioned that again is another thing that dawned on me. I was like, wow, yeah, it ends on a Wednesday night. Like, it's just going to be so weird to think. I think promotion will be confirmed prior to that. You know what I'm like, boys? But it is going to be. It's going to be quite sobering here. I mean, you're still going mad, but like, I don't know, like just sat in my room. I don't know. It's mad to think about, but it's just great to be back and great to have the opportunity, I guess, as Leeds fans to do it properly. You know, the fixtures have been confirmed. We're back Sunday, June the 21st, starting at Cardiff. We'll run through the fixtures, boys. You know, I see on Twitter, Conor, you mentioned, you know, being nervous, etc. I mean, how do we see it panning out, guys? What are your thoughts? I mean, Cardiff, Fulham, Luton, Blackburn, Stoke, Swansea, Barnsley, Derby and Charlton Athletic. How do we see it?
I think do you want to go first, mate?
All right, no worries. But yeah, I think you look at it and you think there's some away games there. You think Blackburn, Cardiff, Swansea, which we should be able to win. You know, you look at them, but they're kind of like ones you think, ooh, they're a bit dodgy. Them, you know, not ones. Yeah, you're glad we've got that big lead going into. I think the big ones, those first two. Cardiff away, Fulham at home. We can get through those two unscathed. I'm feeling pretty confident. But you just don't know in this league. You know, we lost at home to Wigan. And some of our best away performances have been against like West Brom and Brentford away, games where we should get absolutely battered. You know, it's just weird. We're a weird team, weird league. It's weird everything. So you can never really tell, I guess, but still feel confident, to be honest, guys.
Yeah, I think it's. I think we beat Fulham, and I think we need 4 wins out of 9. I think if we beat Fulham, because I think I was looking at the fixtures with a couple of my mates the other day, and they've still got West Brom away. They've still got obviously Brentford at home. I think they've got Forest away as well. They've got a lot of tough fixtures, and obviously, it's the crowd. I think the crowd's not being there is going to be absolutely huge. And if we're going back now and it was 9 games to go with the crowds, I'd be shitting myself. I'd be absolutely shitting myself. I think we saw it towards the end of the last season. It's not that I was going to say it's not that we bottled it, but I mean we did. But I think the crowd at home in particular. I mean, me and my dad were talking about. You look at Sheffield United, you look at Derby, Wigan. There were so many games. 10 points picked up out of 27. I mean, that is unbelievable out of 9 games. So what I'm trying to say is, I think us going forward without the crowd away from home in particular, because you think if we were going down to Cardiff's first game, they'd be well up for it. 18,000 Welshmen there. We've not got an unbelievable record down there. But, I've saying this before, if it's football on the pitch and there's no external factors, you've seen it in the Bundesliga, all the away teams are winning. So I think it's going to be a case of if Leeds can just go there and actually just focus on football now. There's nothing else. Just focus on your game. There is literally nothing else there. So I think that's going to be a huge advantage for Leeds. And I think a lot of people are maybe seeing maybe not looking at the fact that crowds are going to be an impact. The fact that crowds aren't going to be an impact for this Leeds United side, I think that is going to be huge.
I think you bang on the money. It's quite interesting looking at. Some fans might watch this and think, what are you talking about in that respect? But I get it. I think Fulham, for example, if we looked at Fulham fixture, I would lie to the crowd there, yeah. But like a game, like a Wigan, etc., when the pressure's on and things aren't going really well, and it's getting to the last embers of the game, and Leeds are struggling from set pieces, there isn't that nervousness in the crowd, There isn't that tension. It's like you say, 11v11. I get it. I get what you're trying to say, man, and it takes that sting out of it. And like you said, footballing side, there's none better. And I think, fingers crossed, I genuinely feel with the layoff, we could blow teams out of the water. We've seen it at the start of previous seasons, both under Bielsa. We've gone out flying out of the traps, not so much this season, but we were still a cut above. If you look at that first game against Bristol City, we made them look, ordinary. And I think that could happen against Cardiff. I mean, it happened. It happened against them, didn't it? We all know what happened, obviously, Lee Tomlin. And it was sort of the downfall. So we're more than one, boys. I mean, so excited for that first fixture. How do you see that one going after the layoff?
Well, I mean, I think with Cardiff, the big thing is the height, isn't it? It's just going to be long throws, long balls, corner kicks, just cross after cross after cross in the box. And it's one of those, you look at those kind of games this season where we've faced teams like that. I think probably the last big one was probably Forest away, and we struggled a bit against the physicality. But the thing is with Leeds, I think it was what it has been all this season. I think we've always been there performance-wise. I think we've always had good control of pretty much every single game. Obviously, the odd one where it looks a little bit off it, but it's always about just that front three, front four, if you like. Is it on it? Is it going to score goals? Patrick Bamford, is he a goal threat? Is he on it on the day kind of thing? That's the one thing you're a little bit unsure of with this Leeds team from time to time. It can score goals, but you never know if it will score goals. But I feel confident.
I mean, I get what Oscar's saying, to be honest. I think it's I think I tweeted out as well. I think football for football, you couldn't ask for an easier game for me. I think football-wise, they're one of the. This is with all respect, but I don't think they're a good footballing side. I think there's actually teams in the bottom 5 or 6 that are better footballing side than Cardiff, but Cardiff play to the strength so well that is sort of why they've turned it around a little bit. And let's what are the 8th position? So they're no mugs. So it just depends really. I think Leeds have got to take control of the game really, really quickly, because if you start seeing from moment 3, 4, 5th minute, 6th minute, you start lumping the balls in and you're thinking, right, okay, we don't want to start playing their game. And I think at Ellen Road, 65th minute was when it all changed round and we started playing their game. And you start playing their game, you're not going to beat Cardiff at their game. It was like back in the day when Arsenal had come up against Stoke. You couldn't beat Stoke at their game. They were too good at it. I think Leeds play the game. I think we'll win the game, and I think I'm confident that we will beat Cardiff because I think we're too good. I think we're too good a footballing team for them to beat us. But I don't know if they do beat us. Wow, I mean it's and then Fulham beat Brentford. It's game on, isn't it? All of a sudden it's game on again. And do you know, it was funny actually. I was watching I've watched so many season reviews now because I'm just waiting for it to get back in it. And I was watching the 09-10 one, and it was that thing where Leeds were like sort of however many points in front, and we just make it so difficult for ourselves. I think we got battered by Swindon at home 3-0, and it went right to the final day, and we could have had it sewn up so easily. So it's funny that I saw a tweet earlier saying I reckon we'll have it sewn up by Barnsley. I don't know. You don't know with Leeds, do you? You've never got a clue. But I think in answer to your question, Joe, short answer. I've given you a long one there, but I think footballing wise, mate, we should blow them away. We should blow them away.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think, and I am a bit like, that fan that you mentioned on social media. I genuinely look at the fixtures. We said this prior to the lockdown, prior to everything that's happened in the world. I was come out and said we have the best fixtures, out of the teams in the running, especially when you look at Fulham, etc. We do have the favourable fixtures. I know games aren't won on paper, we've seen it, and a lot of people will mention Wigan last season as they've done before. I get it. But I just think, I think we could have it tied up. As people have messaged me asking me what do we see points wise, etc. I've not really given it much thought. I just want to get back, get back to football. I mean, it is an interesting. I've not really thought about, but like Conor said, imagine we did lose that first game. Like I couldn't. Can you imagine how that?
Someone said it. Someone said it to me the other day. He was like, "You are like unusually confident, Conor." And I was like, "No, I am. I think footballing wise, we'll do anyone in this league." But he was like, "Yeah, but what happens if you lose that first game at Fulham beat Brentford?" I was just like, "I've not even thought about that."
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think any of us have. I think that's the mad thing. It's like when you look on social media, apart from the odd one, there is genuine optimism, and that isn't always the case. With Leeds United, even with how well we do play, it isn't always the case. But I genuinely feel there's an overriding sense that it's in the bag. Do you think we're wrong to think that, Oscar? What do you reckon?
I think the fact, obviously around Christmas, we were 14 points clear or whatever it was, it just shows, and then we went from 14 points to no points clear within like 5 or 6 weeks. You just know how things can change at this level. It's a crazy league, isn't it? I just think, I look at this Leeds team, I think us and West Brom are by far and away the best two teams in this division. For the first 85% of the season, there's absolutely no doubt about it. You can throw in Brentford, but Brentford nowhere near got the consistency levels of us and West Brom for me. And you just don't know, do you? I thought last season, we went so far clear after I think we beat Sheffield Wednesday. Obviously, the Wigan game happened, etc., etc. But I just think this Leeds team, there's been a couple of times this season where we need to grind out results. And I just think we've done it. I just think the mentality looks better this season. I think the big one for me was that Millwall game back in January where we went 2 down, and it all looks like, blimey, this is going wrong. This is an absolute nightmare. 20 minutes into the game, 2 down, and we came back and absolutely battered them. Won 3-2. We could have won 6 or 7-2, couldn't we? And I look at it and think, if Helder Costa, Jack Harrison, Patrick Bamford is a really good run of form, I just think we'll do it. I just think it's kind of that close now. But yeah, I think obviously there's a bit of overconfidence here and there, but I think everyone's acknowledging the fact that in any given game at the championship level, you can lose quite easily. Anything can happen.
I also think it's not just a case of Leeds as well. You've got to look at the teams around us. For me, there's no way. I was having a look at Fulham's form, and they had a bit of a decent run, but losing to Barnsley at home 3-0, drawing away at Bristol City, drawing away at Derby. You wouldn't have got Sheffield United doing that last year. Sheffield United were on an absolute run. And as were Norwich, they were ridiculous. I think they've lost 1 game since Christmas. So you kind of look at Leeds' run with 7 points to the good, including a better goal difference. This is an unbelievable position. It's a better position than last year, way better. The squad's healthier. We've got a new signing coming in. We've got Augustin. He's a new signing. Looks a different player. the players are all coming back beating the previous scores, which you kind of maybe would expect. I don't know. They've only got running exercise to do really at this moment in time. But I think we're just looking in such a no real fresh injuries apart from Forshaw. It'd be unbelievable if we bottled this. It would be, and I genuinely don't think we can this year, because you've got to look at the difference as well. Like, let's say 7-8 points, including goal difference. That would sort of take Leeds to lose 2 or 3 games, and then every other team around us who've got difficult fixtures to then pick up those points, maximum points every single game. And I just don't think we've got a team like, let's say, Sheffield United, like we had on our tails last year. I think we're in a better position.
Yeah, I agree completely, mate. And let's not forget, we've said it all season, there was a period of time where we were 11 points clear this season, and teams still couldn't catch us. And we went on that barren run of just not picking up wins, and the teams in and around us just couldn't catch us. I think the massive game for me was Brentford away, and that's really what swung it and put it back in our favour, and form really took an upward turn from then. And we've been in unreal form prior to the end, and I genuinely feel with the layoff there'll be no team. I get what you're saying, Conor, in that you've only got really running exercises, etc. But at least with Bielsa, he'll be keeping them right. Will a Neil Harris at Cardiff have the same sort of gusto with them coming back as lean as, say, Bielsa would? Do you know what I mean? So I think we'll be in tip-top condition come the 21st, and as I say, I can't wait for it, man. And yeah, man, Leeds are going up. Whether or not that's as champions, I don't really care. I just think we need to put enough breathing space between us and Fulham, which I think we will. Like you say, Brentford, Fulham's huge, isn't it? And let's see where that takes us. Putting your necks out there, boys. Where do you see it being? Let's say we do go up. Fingers crossed. Where do you see it being done? You haven't thought. You don't want to put your neck on it.
I suppose Barnsley would be kind of the ideal time. I wouldn't want to kind of like leave it to Charlton at home if we can avoid it. It'd be annoying if it gets to that Charlton game we haven't sewn it up. Let's be honest. If we haven't sewn it up by that Charlton game, something will have gone wrong somewhere along the line. But yeah, I think hopefully Barnsley Derby, maybe earlier than that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love it to be Derby. That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? Going into that Derby game, already knowing where it'd be even better. I didn't think I cared about being champions, but I do now. Like, I want to be champions. I want to win the thing. But yeah, Derby would be incredible. You'd love to go there. Absolutely, sort of no care in the world, and I think it'd be retribution, revenge, and redemption all in one down there at Pride Park. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah, I have to agree with you completely. It's again disappointing because you'd love to tie it up at a full packed out stadium, wouldn't you? And given after the rightly so, the battering we got from their fans and their players after the beat us in that second leg, with all this.
It's going to be in Southampton, isn't it? They reckon it's going to be at a neutral ground as well, at St Mary's or something.
Yeah. Like, what is that? What is that about? Do you know? Like, have you got any
policing? I think it's policing. After last time, I think it got a bit. Well, we went, didn't we, Oscar? And it was a bit, oh God, at Pride Park after that first leg, it wasn't very nice afterwards, was it?
A bit angry, weren't they? I think we started outside Derby train station, and it was a pretty bad idea about 2 minutes into it. But yeah, it's.
I think it was just I think we were all upset and angry after the Derby game, rightfully so, when they beat us 4-2, and I think they thought it was over in that first leg, so. It was kicking off outside a little bit, not with Leeds fans, but you could just tell it was. So I don't know whether or not they just think it's going to be an easier policing thing, but I don't know whether or not, for example, like our home games, I don't know whether or not towards the back end you're going to start getting 10,000 people outside Ellen Road. You just don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah, I definitely think Charlton at home. If it were to go to the last day, Conor, would the police look at it and go, let's move this? Because there's not to say. I mean, you would hope not. You would hope and believe that everyone's smart enough to not go. But you just never know, do you? But look, there's the exciting thing of having cardboard cutouts in the stadium, so that'll suffice for me. I was like a little child earlier. Yeah. I mean, the way we look at the minute, I mean, my beard, Oscar's tash, and Conor's hair. Come on, Conor, get it out.
My toupee, oh yeah.
It's massive.
There we go. If you can beat that, put it in the comment section below.
Yeah. Just before we'll go to your questions, I know we've been inundated with questions on social media, so thank you everyone for banging them in. We have been nominated second year running for the FCAs, best in video, best small medium based company or something. I should really know this, to be fair. But no, so we're going to put the link in the description. I know you probably will have already voted for us. Massive shout out for the club for sticking that out as well. That was meant to get a bit of recognition from them. And yeah, I mean, it's been good to be able to get nominated in November, and hopefully we'll bring home the bacon. We'll be going. We're talking shutting LS11, so hopefully one of us will pick something up. I'll come out to you guys. Just from my perspective, lockdown, I guess. I've started growing my own veg. I've done a little bit of meditation. I've stopped smoking. I've knocked the drink on the head. I'm drinking tea, green tea, herbal teas. I'm on some next level stuff, guys. So it's been mad for me, but positive. I guess I just want to come round to you guys, and I know Conor, you started a little venture up, podcast in full swing. Do you wanna have a little chat about that?
Yeah, it's I've wanted to do it for a while, mate. It's not just about football. It's about sport in general. Obviously, I mean, it's my favourite game, football, but I do like Formula Ones, your rugby unions, all this sort of stuff. So it's just all based on people's sporting lives. We've had Dorigo on, which was interesting. That was brilliant. Damien Johnson, BBC correspondent, that was today. But it's good, mate. I just try to keep myself busy with stuff like that. Honing up my editing skills, getting back, to all Leeds TV, and hopefully we can start some new content as well. That'd be great. But yeah, In Full Swing podcast. If anyone wants to check it out, just do it. And yeah, it's been good, mate. I think it's good keeping the mind stimulated. I've been trying a bit of meditation as well, and it does help, doesn't it, when you're trying to, I don't know, I guess, center yourself again and figure out who you are and all this sort of stuff. You grow some hair and a beard and look like you're Amish.
Getting to know the true self, man. That's what I'm on right now. Yeah. No.
Have you been exercising, Joe? Have you been keeping that up, or?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I've been walking as well, like doing a lot of walking. Just like where I live, there's so much coast, and it's just beautiful, man. Sometimes I get Harry on my back. We just go, man, and yeah, it's lovely, man. Getting at one with nature, genuinely. I'm on a different vibe right now, but long may that continue. But yeah, check out Conor's pod. Its link will be in the description. And then we've got Oscar. Apart from growing that lovely little tash, mate, what have you been up to?
To be fair, you made me feel really bad now when you talk about green tea. I think, to be fair, I've drank pretty much every night so far. Not like
yeah,
a couple of Coronas, to be fair. It is really cheap at the minute, to be fair. But yeah, no, it's been all right, to be fair. Got a treadmill at home, so I've been doing a bit of running. Done a bit of running outside as well. But the only thing is with running, you just want to be a bit careful getting too close to people and that lot. And yeah, no, it's been all right, to be fair. Still been working as normal, so thankful for that. And yeah, no, it's not too bad. I think most of the family is self-employed, so they've been struggling a little bit, well, massively, to be fair. So just been grateful to just to carry on. Really, it's normal. Just no football at the end of it, but it's one of those things.
Yeah, and at least we can get back to previews, reviews, joint calls, whatever's in the pipeline. Let's get it done, man, and let's just smash this to the next level. It's lovely to spend time with you again. Right, so what we're all here for, I guess, is for the fans of the channel, and of course they've sent in some questions. Oscar's been inundated, so I'm going to hand over Oscar, and he can fire away And thank you everyone for watching this. Obviously, smash a like and thanks for sending in your questions. Oscar, I will hand over to you, my friend.
So, guys, first question in is off LJM with the greatest Twitter handle I think I've ever heard. Pass it to Pablo. Which was, I think that was basically Gary Monk's main Leeds tactic, that wasn't it? Anyway, so Poveda to play. Does JA start or do we keep with Bamford? Hardest fixture, and he can't wait for the content. So let's start with Ian Poveda. Does he get a look in now? Because let's not forget, guys, just to mention as well, 9 substitutes on the bench. Are we possibly going to see a bit more of Ian Poveda?
Go on, Conor. I'll let you go, mate.
Yeah, it's a good question. Weirdly, I've not even really thought about Poveda. Mad, innit? You just forget. Yeah, I think the squad at the minute, I wouldn't change it. I think they were, you look at it, 5 straight wins, no goals conceded. They're on fire. We're on absolute fire. So I don't think you can change a lot of it round at this moment in time. I think Poveda, this was always going to be a bit of a bedding in season, wasn't it? Maybe for future seasons. So I'd love to see him. They're very exciting. And I've not heard that many reports on him from Phil Hay, as we have done with Augustin, for example. But yeah, I think why not? Why not? I mean, he's a tricky winger. Apparently, he's quick. Who gives us a little bit of spurts when we need it. Sort of that Dan James-esque thing that we were looking for with about 10 to 12 games to go last season. So I think it'd be a really good shout. But yeah, I mean, as we've just spoken about multiple times, I think the squad's going to be in really good spirits now. Obviously, my anxiety towards Bamford's reduced a bit, but I think that's going to go up as soon as we kick the ball. But having someone like Augustin there, potentially fit and ready to go on the bench, and yeah, I just think we're looking in really good stead. And I'm happy the clubs decide, sort of wanting to go in the route of playing on and voting playing on instead of PPG. I think we've got to go and do it the proper way. And I think Augustin and Poveda will definitely help us in that goal.
Yeah, I think mate, Poveda, I'm not sure we'll see him, but at least we have him there as an option. I think, like Conor said, I agree. It's a little bit of a bedding in season. It always seems to be the case with Bielsa's players. We've seen it, Everyone gets better. Everyone gets better the longer they're with him, And JKA, however, I could see just because he's going to be fit now. We've seen it. I mean, the guy looks lean. It's insane. He looks like, for me, for what he was, I'm like, that's unhealthy. Like, for him to strip that much, I'm like, if you'd have seen that guy, you'd be like, wow, that's a crash diet, son. What are you doing? But he's going to have been, done healthily. But yeah, I think he's ready, isn't he? Will he start? No, of course not. Bamford's going to start, but at least we know he's there, going to be ready and raring to go now. Whereas before it wasn't the case. We had no clue. We've all sat in videos going, "Where's JKA? Where is he?" But we now know he is going to be ready and probably will be used when needed, I think. Whereas before, Bielsa would have probably thought, nah, he's not ready, he's not fit enough, he's not lean enough. Now look, So I do think we will see him. Yeah.
I think as well, it's like he's, JK. If we do sign him, he's going to be a club record signing. I don't know whether or not it's the option or it's an obligation. I can't remember from when we signed him. Oscar might be able to clear that out. But I think it was, he's clearly got a lot of faith in him. We saw that attribute sheet. I don't know if you guys saw it, that Phil Hay put out, which is, why Leeds targeted him, the exact specific things Bielsa wants. He's perfect for it. So I remember at the start, I think if he was fit, it was either Bielsa or Phil Hay said that he'd probably be starting for Leeds United because of his quality. So, I mean, yeah, but has Bamford sort of, with his time at Leeds United, ever come up against someone like Augustin, who's going to be ultimate fitness? Let's say what if he's in training, just banging them in left, right, and centre and looking unbelievable, like running in and out the channels, like you don't know. So I think it's a really good position to be in, and no other squad in the division for me are going to be able to, say that they've got potentially two new signings coming into the squad, really.
I mean, put together that piece, comparing Augustin and Bamford and that lot. I think the big thing was clearly Augustin is the far superior finisher. You know, I think Phil A mentioned it as well. He's actually got a conversion rate better than Sergio Aguero, I think I remember. So, you know, that's just one little thing. But I don't think Bamford, as Conor said, I don't think Bamford's ever come up against competition like this. I know he's had Roof and Nketiah at the start of the season, but I think Augustin, fully fit. You know, we're talking about someone here who was playing alongside Timo Werner this time last year, who's, you know, now arguably the best striker in Europe. So, you know, we've got some serious player here. You know, we've got a serious player. You know, look, I know the first 2 games we've all said it. You know, first 2 or 3 games he looks badly out of shape, but I think it's a totally new start this for JKA, if you like. But yeah, guys, I have to agree with all of that. To be fair, guys, so many questions about JKA. If you were Bielsa, say if Bamford starts quite slowly, first 2 or 3 games doesn't score, JKA's looking good in training, looking good off the bench. Would JKA be getting into that team ahead of Bamford for you?
Yeah, I think like Conor said, I mean, if he's literally banging them in, it's a similar sort of question, isn't it? I think if he's banging them in, I think the funny thing, look, Bamford's perfect for how we play. Let's be honest. It's just he misses a lot of opportunities. We've seen it, man. We've seen it. West Brom, for example, when he started with Eddie, which was strange as all. And then half time, Bamford just switched it, you know. And I remember that first West Brom game, his centre forward display was just unreal. He brings so much, but as a fan base and because of his position, he misses 1 shot on that 21st. I'm telling you, people will be all over going, yeah. It's just the nature of the beast, and I think Paddy has to deal with that as well. But Bielsa sees the bigger picture. But if he's banging them in and we're short on goals, then of course, yeah.
I think the big issue is we don't want to debalance the squad, do we? And, you know, if Leeds are winning and Bamford's not scoring, I don't know, it comes back to the old saying, doesn't it? Can you change a winning team? Because clearly there's something that Bamford's doing right to supplement the attacking players going forward. You know, Costa gets a goal, Harrison gets a goal against Cardiff. You might get Bamford assisting them or being part of the play. So I think how I would see JK's role is probably still the second striker, but I'd like to see him, you know, thrown in a little bit more than, for example, we saw Eddie. You know, when Eddie's come on for 10 minutes, we want, if Augustin's, you know, as good as Phil Hayes saying he looked, you know, Graham Smythe saying he looked, and Bielsa, listen, there's a reason he's been brought in, and there's a reason that we're potentially paying a massive fee at the end of the season for him. So the club's put a lot more faith in him than, let's say, Eddie, because there's never going to be an obligation to buy Eddie. So I think we might see a little bit of a switch from Bielsa, but would I change it immediately if Bamford didn't score against Cardiff? Probably not.
I think there's one person we've forgotten here in terms of the striker debate, who, of course, came on against Hull, scored 2 goals. Player I talk about a lot. This is the time.
You keep forgetting about him, don't you? You keep forgetting about how good, because the squad depth is fantastic now. We've got such good. Imagine if Forshaw was fit. Jesus, it'd be like an unbelievable squad to choose from. But yeah, I mean, Robert, sorry to cut you off, Oscar, but I mean, he was just electrifying in that whole game. He was unbelievable, and I think he got another one there. I mean, it's not fair for him to just be not be involved as well. So I mean, we're all saying before the break, weren't we? We were saying, well, we'd start Roberts against Cardiff and all this sort of stuff. So who knows?
Tyler's so good, isn't he? He's so good, man. Like that goal against Hull, oh man, just the whole build-up play though as well. It's just fantastic. And you're right, man. We do forget it, and we do have an abundance of talent. You know, the future looks bright for Leeds United. We know that. You know, we know that academy's got so many ready to just come off the conveyor belt. And while Bielsa's at the helm, you know, the world's our oyster, man. The world's our oyster. It's beautiful, man. Beautiful to see, beautiful to watch.
I tell you what, seeing as you just mentioned the academy, I'm going to take us to another question now off Jerry McDermott. So, the football economy is going to take a massive hit in the next couple of years. Clubs will realise more than ever the importance of their own players within academies. LUFC, I'm sure, have addressed these issues, and while still Category A Academy, are there any, I'm not sure what the exact question is here, but any news on what the plans are ahead? So basically, do you think if, say, the football economy, which it looks like it is going to be, massively impacting on this, do we have those academy players to fill in the future if it is like completely battered? I'll go to Joe first.
I mean, well, you know, history tells us that we churn out decent academy players, you know. As for the football economy and stuff, like, I'm not going to sit here and BS you know, like, I don't know, like, I'm not into the money and such behind it all, you know. I just watch 11 blokes run after a ball. I don't delve that much into it, you know. Conor might be, you know, better placed to answer that, you know, that sort of question, but you know, well, uni and all that sort of stuff, man. I just assumed, sorry, bro. But yeah, I mean, as for the talent that's coming off, we already know it, you know. We've seen, you know, bits and bats come through. Like, look at Shackleton, for example. I think we all thought he would have an amazing season. We haven't seen much of him. But they're still there, you know. Robbie Gotts, that first half against Arsenal, he was absolutely immense. He was. And there's even more coming off there, you know. I think Calvin did a piece the other week and mentioned a young one that none of us had even heard of before. Do you know what I mean? And if you remember, we went to the LS11 Live event and Andy Hughes spoke about Creswell, you know, and that's another one who's still not even close yet, you know. So Leeds historically have good academy. We're in safe hands with Bielsa at the helm, especially. You know they're going to get an opportunity, and that's the thing, you know, and that's all they need. Sometimes players need an opportunity, and under Bielsa they'll get it regardless of the football economy.
Yes, I mean, it's gonna, like Joe says, mate. I can't profess to know the ins and outs of the football economy, but you know, if we're just reverting back to the academy, like Joe says, you've got to just back exactly what he's saying, because it's our academies. We've got to be one of the best in the country. We might not finish top of the table and all this sort of stuff, but what does that mean? What does it mean about finishing top of the table? You know, how many youngsters have Chelsea blooded through in the past 10 years, and they've won the league every single year. They've won the Champions League under 21, under 18. Whereas Leeds, I see a successful academy as breeding them into first team football, which we've done for so long now, you know. So I think ours is definitely one of the most successful academies in the country. So, you know, us even getting up to the Premier League, everything's going to increase, the facilities, the training. So the players are going to adapt to that. And I think the academy will definitely prosper. And in this period as well, with what they're learning under Bielsa, they'll be getting better and better and better, definitely. So I think yeah, the football economy will be hit. I think transfer budgets will be hit really hard. That's what I think will happen. But I think the reliance on our academy has been brilliant for years now, and I think we'll be able to do that and sustain that in the Premier League.
And I guess the key figure you look at is probably Carlos Corberán as well. You know, you say obviously he's kind of in between the academy and the first team. You know, he's Bielsa's main right-hand man, under 23s head coach, etc., etc. As long as, I think for me, the most important thing is keeping Corberán at the club, not letting him get poached by anyone else. You know, in case looking at his talents and that lot. I think as long as we keep Corberán there, you've always got that big. Look how many players have come through. You know, Joe's mentioned Robbie Gotts. I think John Stevens played a couple of games before lockdown. He came off the bench a couple of times. I feel really fine with that. You know, if we have to use the academy at all. So
how good? Sorry, just to jump in as well. How good was Leif Davis as well when he's been come off? You know what I mean? So you know.
And that's what you want as well. It's what Leeds United haven't had for so many years. It's a project. It's longevity. You know, even if we get sold on and there's all this sort of stuff in the pipeline about us getting taken over in the Premier League, if that happens, whatever. But to actually keep that hierarchy and that structure of Bielsa, okay, we know he's going to move on. It's going to be a sad day, but he will move on. But to keep someone who's learned from Bielsa and knows exactly what this squad's about and to play in the same way, we need a plan, because every club wants a plan, don't they? And if we have that, then I think that we'll be successful for many years to come. So yeah, I think the future's bright, hopefully.
No, 100%, guys. But there's been a couple of questions in terms of the futures of some of the older players in the squad. So I'm going to start with Spivo, who has asked us Berardi contract and his recent interview with LUCV. So obviously we all know Berra's contract is actually technically expiring in 21 days, I think. But obviously it looks like he's going to play every game, or be available for every game towards the end of the season. Do we see Berra staying beyond the end of this season? I'll go to Conor first. Or do you want Berra to stay?
Yeah, there's two sides to that question for me. So I think, God, it's such a loaded question. Do I want him to stay for the next 9 games? Yes, I think it is essential that he stays for the next 9 games. Would I want him in the Premier League? No, not for me. I think when we get to the Premier League, we'll see players coming in who are of that next level. I think we've probably already acquired targets. We know exactly where we're going to be going. And I think there's just a natural step up. At 30 years old, he'll be 31, will he, when he goes into the Premier League? He's already a rotation player. I just don't know whether or not he's going to be able to adapt to the pace, even if we need, let's say, if hypothetically Liam Cooper goes out and we've got an injury there and Berra comes in, is he going to be able to keep up with the likes of Aguero, Aubameyang, Rashford? Not for me. Sentiment-wise, I'd love to see him see the Premier League. I'd love to see him see the Premier League and be part of it. He deserves it more than anyone. He's been there. He's our longest serving player. So there's two sides of it. It's my head and my heart, really. My heart, I'd love to see him there. I love everything he stands for. What a man that he's been for this club, stood through some really, really tough times. Head, could we spend maybe his wages on another talent, another recovery centre back who really is mustard? That's where my head's at with it.
Yeah, I just echo what he says. I mean, me, guys. I sometimes go a lot on heart, especially when I speak about Leeds United. But you have to take that out of it, the sentiment, like Conor says, and look at it from a business standpoint as well. And look, if Berra was going to stay, right, he'd already be done. The deal would already be signed. There's no sort of questions over, I want this, I want that. He'd sign it straight away. And we've seen with this regime as well, they don't mess about with contracts, sometimes at the detriment. We've seen what they did with Union O'Kane, etc. Signing these players on long-term deals when they had a few good games. We've seen it. I just think, like from a heart, hopefully, I hope if he's still got, we know he's still got games at this level, whether that's in England or Europe, go do that. But then come back to Leeds in some sort of capacity, even if it's on the coaching. I'd love Berardi back. He's got Leeds in him as well. We've seen that with the way he talks about the skylights, etc. He's really fallen in love with the city as well. And I'd say he's Leeds through and through. But like Conor said, I just don't think he'd be able to cut it. He'd only be coming up to maybe playing the Carabao Cup and etc. And does he want that in that stage of his career? Probably not. He might still get some games. I think he'd probably go abroad rather than play in the Championship for someone else. But hopefully we'll see him back at the club in some capacity, because he's a legend, isn't he? I know legends banded around, but in the current climate for the word legend, if that makes sense, he's a legend to Leeds fans just for what he stands for.
I think as well, mate. You look at the team who've gone up, and the one that stands out for me is when Sheffield United went up and they got rid of Martin Craney. He was the exact same player for Sheffield United as Berardi's. His rotation, he'd come in a little bit over the hill, but he was fantastic for Sheffield United. And sentiments just sometimes got to go out the window. And this is a massive project of getting into the Premier League. We want to stay in the Premier League, and some players are at different levels. And could anyone watch this turn around and say Berardi is sort of a Premier League player? So that's what it would be. It might be rotation, but is he a Premier League player, top division in the world? I don't know. What do you think, Oscar?
I think you're spot on with the Sheffield United example. You've got as well like Mark Duffy as well, who was massive for them last year. Obviously, I don't think he even played a game for him. Got shipped out to Stoke, but yeah, I've got some, it's Paul Coots as well. That's the thing. There's no room for sentiment, and that's the thing. That's what I think separates the great managers from the good managers. You see, like Chris Wilder straight away, he rebuilt again, got some new players in, gelled them in well, etc., etc. But yeah, I've got to agree, guys. I think with Berardi, I love Berra. I think at Championship level, he's fine. But I think, the Premier League level, I think you look at White and Cooper, they are probably a lot more suited to the Premier League, the younger. You look at Berardi, I think Joe said as well, is it fair saying to Berardi, if we did keep him as a fourth choice centre-back, if you like, but he's only going to be playing Carabao Cup, is that fair on Berra? And I'm sure that's probably part of the conversation. I think it's been a very amicable situation between Bielsa and Berardi and that lot, and obviously Orta as well. I think Bielsa will want the best for Berardi's career. I think he'll say, thank you very much, you've been absolutely fantastic for us. You've filled in those different spots. And yeah, hopefully you can get that final award at the end. But I think for Berry, you look at it and think 30, 31, whatever, was he 31, 32, something like that. You look at it and you think, do you really want to be a fourth choice centre-back at that stage of your career? Probably not. You probably want to play as much football as you possibly can. That's
and as well, mate, what a curtain call for his time at Ellen Road. He's been through everything. He's been through everything. The Sick Note 6, or all the lot back in the day. He's been through so many chairmans and all this sort of stuff. And what a sentiment! At long last, his entire career at Leeds has been trying to get out of this division. He wins the division at long last with Bielsa. And what a sentiment! I mean, what a way to go out. You don't want to. He doesn't want to be tarnished in any way. Oscar, I think you've been kind there, mate, saying he's going to be fourth choice centre back. To be honest, mate, he could be fifth and sixth. Yeah. So I think, I think I definitely agree with you both. I think it'd be time to move on.
But go on to something a bit different then. So Liam Horsley, good friend of all three of us. He said, I would like you to discuss why it's our fucking time. Joe Wainman. So I'm going to
demonetize this video right off the bat.
Straight to Joe Wainman. Go on then, mate. 30 seconds. Yeah. Why is it Leeds' time this time around?
Wow, you put us on the under pressure there. I've even put it there for you, Liam. I said, Joe, it's our time. It's our time just because, ultimately, we've got 9 games to absolutely blow away this division. The mad thing is, we have Conor, you're putting us under pressure there. But ultimately, it's going to be our centenary year. I believe it's also going to be Bielsa's 100th game against Charlton, and the season ends on his birthday.
And he's 100 years old?
No, but you know what I'm like? All these things, I'm like, tick, tick, tick. You seen what I did last season, bloody hell, but nah. As soon as we start winning games, I'll start screaming it again. It is what it is.
Conor, have you got to say
that?
Have I got to say our time? I think it would be an absolute disgrace for me to take that off Joe, so no. I do not have an it's our time.
He wouldn't want it anyway. What do you call me, even Tash? Peter Pan.
Peter Pan, yeah. There he is, yeah. Peter Pan.
Oh, I remember that, to be fair. Oh, unreal. Right, so what we're going to ask next. So, off Sean, so how many points do we reckon Fulham will get from their remaining games? And then the same for us from our fixtures too. I'm thinking if we achieve a minimum of 17, which allows for 5 wins, 2 draws, 2 defeats, that will force Fulham to.
Do we have the fixtures up, boys?
25 points to everything. So
get them now.
Fulham. So what would Fulham?
So for me, right, just on that, just due to the fact, Fulham have got Brentford. Us, of course, Queen's Park, Rangers. They then have Birmingham, Forest away, Cardiff City at home, West Brom away, Sheffield Wednesday at home, Wigan Athletic. I genuinely think out of anyone, if I were to be worried, it'd be Brentford. Just because I think Fulham do have some difficult fixtures. But in terms of points, it'd be too. Look, I think they're going to struggle first game back, aren't they, against Brentford? And they're at home, so who knows? But I think, look, they could be 2 games in and have 0 points. Brentford could beat them and we could beat them. So we'll see. Conor?
Yeah, I agree with Joe. I think it's going to be really, really interesting. I've been looking at it loads because there's just nothing else to do. But I think when they play Brentford, they'll beat Brentford. I think away from home. I know it's nothing to, obviously the crowd. It might be a bit different once again. Might play into Brentford fans. You might see Brentford just really stormtrooping it, but we're too far ahead of Brentford now. Even Thomas Frank said it. Where's Wood? Touch Wood. But we're 11 points clear of them now. I do think, I agree with Joe, I think Brentford are actually going to slip into third place. So obviously they've got Brentford Brentford have got Fulham away, then they've got us. I think we'll beat them. I do think we'll beat Fulham. And then, you look at their other games, they've got Forest away, we were just saying it earlier. That's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a real tough one. And then you've got West Brom away, another tough one. Sheffield Wednesday at home will not be easy. I know Wednesday are going through a bit of turmoil at the minute, but they never make games like that easy, do they? Big games, they're always involved in it, proper bad. And I think, you look at the last game of the season, boys. They've got Wigan away. That will not be easy. It will not be easy. So they've got. I mean, there's a Brentford lad who's on my course, and he reckons that they're gonna trump Fulham 100%. So I think Fulham have got a real difficult run there, and I think that's why we're in such a brilliant position.
But you look at Brentford, you look at that front three, you think of that front three, fully fresh, and Wainman, Watkins, Berardi. I mean, it could absolutely destroy Fulham if it's on form. It could absolutely destroy Fulham, couldn't it? And I'd have to agree. You know what? You look at that. You look at Janssen at the back, David Raya in goal. I just think Brentford, to be honest, I think the league table lies a little bit. I do think Brentford so far this season have been a better team than Fulham. I think certain games we played.
Yeah. And I think similarly to us, mate, like we were saying earlier, I think footballing-wise, a lot of teams are going to struggle because they haven't got the crowds there. I think that's going to really hinder maybe teams at the bottom as well when they need that extra push. But teams at the top as well, the City ground's been massive for Forest this season. And I think it's going to be a big problem. An interesting one is as well, this is just talking about the top six, but I had a look at Millwall's fixtures. Millwall have got some very, very good fixtures coming up. And you think, if Millwall could get into that top sixth place always does really, really well, doesn't it, in the playoffs? So it's going to be a really interesting last 9 games. I think there's going to be a lot of twists and turns. We just need to we need a flying start, Leeds, and I think we've got more than enough to get that start. But yeah, very interesting with you, but I agree with you both. I think Brentford are going to be on fire. And I think we're very lucky that we've got that cushion because they ain't making that up. They're not making that up. And I think that's a massive bonus for Leeds.
Absolutely spot on, boys. Right, so last question. Rod has asked, can you see us storming the league for the first 5 games and sewing up promotion early doors, or do you think we'll have to wait for Charlton? Because it goes to Conor
first. You acted, didn't you? Great. So, oh man, is it going to go to Charlton? Well, Leeds have historically always left it, haven't we? We always leave it till the last day. Do I think we'll get it sewn up straight away? So, okay, well, I think the first thing to do is sort of look at the fixtures. So, Cardiff away, Fulham at home. Then you'll have to remind me, guys, who's the third, fourth, and fifth.
So then we are home against Luton, away at Blackburn, and home against Stoke.
Okay, Banana Skin's in there. I don't think we'll win 5 out of 5, but I think we'll beat Cardiff. I think we'll beat Fulham, and I think Blackburn will be a tricky one. I think that'll be a really tricky one. I think I've seen a lot of people saying that. Luton, I think will win as well. So I think out of the 5, I think we're going to do really well. But will that be enough to sew it up mathematically? I don't really know. To be quite honest, but I think it'll go, as we've said earlier in the video, I think it's going to go down to a Derby County or potentially a Barnsley at home. And I think then mathematically we can sew it up, yeah.
I think, for me, I do think we will come flying out of the traps. I do think we will. We could easily win the first 3. 9 points in the bag, Cardiff, Fulham and Luton, genuinely. That means Fulham drop points. Maybe Fulham and Brentford draw. Already, although it's not mathematically, you're looking after 3 games thinking, you ain't catching Leeds now. I mean, it is Leeds United, do you know what I mean? But, I genuinely think we'll steamroll it. I do. I just think the layoff is just huge for us. And I know it's mad and the crazy events that's brought it about. But I think we'll be ready and raring. I think we as the fan base, I know we can't be there, but the players, everything. all points to one thing, and it points to Premier League football as early as possible, I believe.
I think if we've got our shooting boots on, I think we can win the first 5 games. But I think the big thing is I don't think we have to. I don't think there's any real massive pressure. I think it's also win 3. You know, 3, win 3, draw 1, 10 points, 5 games. It needs Fulham. I think the pressure is on Fulham. You know, they have to win. Really,
I think that first win for Leeds is going to be huge. It's going to be huge. I think if we go out to Cardiff and we beat Cardiff, I don't care what anyone says, they're not a great footballing side, but like I've said before, they play to the strengths. They're good at what they do. It's a big win. 7th, 8th, you know, on the verge of the playoffs. It's still a big win. And I think I agree with you, Oscar. I think you know, we can do it. It's just whether or not Leeds will go out there and fly off. But how can we not? How can we not? You know, what a motivation it is. What a motivation it is to really go out there and prove everyone wrong. And listen, 5-game winning streak before this. Why don't we continue it?
Yeah. Huge, mate. And I think we could, man. And yeah, man, it's our fucking time, man. There you have it.
It's our time. There we go. We've got it from you. Yeah, I think I've got to agree. You know, that first Cardiff game, if we go there and do what we did at Hull, for example, yeah, I think it just settles the nerve. Anyone who's a little bit nervous, I think it just settles their nerves down nice and early doors, doesn't it?
Anyone. It's going to be everyone, mate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Do what we did against Cardiff in the first fixture. Just don't capitulate. Do you know what I mean? That's what it comes down to. We battered them, and hopefully,
brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, first hour of that game, I thought was probably up there the best we played all season. It just after Kiko made that mistake, and I don't know, just as Conor said, we just went to Cardiff's level then, just started to pump the ball up, and it just went wrong. But yeah, you know, we do what we did first 65 minutes against Cardiff again. I think we'll be sound, to be honest.
And it'll be, I guess it'll be the all eyes on Fulham and Brentford come that game on the 20th. I know we'll all be looking forward to it. Hopefully we can get together and maybe watch, obviously not in person, but if we can watch the game together and get some content out, that'll be decent. But it's been a pleasure getting to see your faces again, even though you have changed. It's been a pleasure to have a chat as well, guys. Watch your space for more content, I guess. And is there anything you guys want to add at all?
Vote for us of the FBAs if you please vote for us.
Yeah, man.
Please. No, but I think it's a testament to the channel that we've managed to get there for the second year on the trot. We've clearly been recognised, and I know all of us were absolutely over the moon when the club put something out. You know, that was huge, and we're being recognised for the content that we're making. We do it for the love of the club. We don't do it for any other thing. You know, we have to go off, edit. We put time into all these. We write scripts. We get our sets done. You know, Joe more than most. But it is one of those things where we put a lot of time into it, guys. So it is very nice to be, you know, to see sort of what we've been doing is been appreciated in this Leeds United sphere.